In August 1872, Queen Victoria's third daughter became a mother once again, giving birth to her second daughter and fourth child. Princess Marie-Louise was the last surviving child of Princess Helena and Duke Christian of Schleswig-Holstein. The subsequent two sons died shortly after birth. Princess Marie-Louise's childhood could be described as idyllic. She grew up surrounded by care and love, wanting for nothing, and received an excellent education and upbringing. She spent a great deal of time at the British court as Princess Helena, and her sister, Princess Beatrice, devoted much time to their mother, Queen Victoria. Naturally, as she grew into a young woman, Princess Marie-Louise became a desirable match, like all of Queen Victoria's granddaughters. Eventually, Princess Helena and Duke Christian consented to their daughter's marriage to Prince Aribert of Anhalt. The German Emperor Wilhelm II, who was her cousin, played a significant role in Princess Marie-Louise's fate. Naturally, the union of the young couple was forged not out of mutual affection, but due to political considerations. The wedding of Marie-Louise and Aribert took place on July 6, 1891. On this notable day, Windsor Castle was filled with distinguished guests. Queen Victoria attended, accompanied by the Prince and Princess of Wales, the German Emperor and Empress, and many other relatives. Unfortunately, Princess Marie-Louise and Prince Aribert were unable to create a happy family. This marriage was also childless. After 9 years, the princess's father-in-law annulled the marriage, effectively freeing two unhappy individuals from one another. Later, Princess Marie-Louise wrote in her memoirs that she would remain faithful to the vows she took during the wedding ceremony and had no intention of remarrying. However, the princess possessed an incredible collection of jewels, which I will tell you about today. I will begin my tale with the exquisite Cartier India tiara. This stunning piece, crafted entirely from diamonds, sapphires, and pearls, was inspired by the Indian-style jewelry designed by Cartier in the 1920s, drawing influence from the Maharajas and Indian architecture. The tiara was purchased by Beatrice Mills, Countess of Granada, in 1923, who replaced the aquamarines with additional diamond brooches in the Art Deco style before it was returned to Cartier around 1937. In 1937, the Cartier India tiara was acquired by Princess Marie-Louise to wear at the coronation of King George VI, and it continued to be worn for many years thereafter, notably during the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in 1953, when she cleverly concealed sandwiches and a flask in the crown. Princess Marie-Louise also wore the tiara during the Swedish state visit to Britain in 1954 and for a series of portraits by Cecil Beaton, who initially thought she must be an old absurd joke, but by the end of the session found her utterly charming. When Prince William of Gloucester and his younger brother, Prince Richard of Gloucester, were born in the 1940s, their grandmother, Queen Mary, suggested to their mother, Princess Alice, Duchess of Gloucester, that Princess Helena Victoria and Princess Marie-Louise be made their godmothers. Therefore, upon Princess Marie-Louise's death in 1956, the Cartier India tiara was inherited by her godson, Prince Richard, who was only 12 years old at the time, thereby adding it to his mother's collection. Marie-Louise also owned a magnificent honeysuckle tiara. This Victorian tiara, composed of 18 graduated bands and scrolls transitioning into honeysuckle motifs, was likely made for Princess Helena of Schleswig-Holstein, Queen Victoria's third daughter, although there are no photographs of her wearing this piece. The tiara was first spotted on Princess Helena Victoria, the daughter of Princess Helena, who likely inherited it from her mother in 1923. In 1917, the princess, who never married, dropped Schleswig-Holstein from her title, becoming Princess Helena Victoria without a territorial designation. After her death in 1948, the honeysuckle tiara passed to her younger sister. Princess Marie-Louise, the most colorful granddaughter of Queen Victoria, had an eventful life. Unhappily married to Prince Aribert of Anhalt in 1891, her father-in-law annulled the marriage in 1900 while she was on an official tour of Canada. She also dropped Schleswig-Holstein from her title and dedicated herself to charity and patronage, prompting her cousin, Queen Mary, to commission the famous Doll's House. At Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, Princess Marie-Louise famously carried a supply of gin and tonic and waved from the carriage window in the rain. She wore her mother's honeysuckle tiara at a 1950s event and in a series of portraits by Cecil Beaton. Upon her death in 1956, she bequeathed the honeysuckle tiara to her cousin, Lady Patricia Ramsay. But beyond tiaras, the princess was also adorned with a stunning necklace known as the Pearl Necklace. When Princess Marie-Louise married, she received this pearl and diamond necklace as a wedding gift from her parents, Princess Helena and Prince Christian of Schleswig-Holstein. This versatile piece could also be worn as two bracelets, resembling the necklace of the City of London given to Queen Mary 2 years later. Princess Marie-Louise wore the pearl necklace, along with a diamond sunburst brooch, which I will discuss shortly, and a diamond star brooch on her wedding day in Windsor, and she cherished these jewels throughout her life. By the 1930s, Princess Marie-Louise frequently wore the pearl bracelets at formal events and in portraits. Upon her death, the pearl bracelets were inherited by Queen Elizabeth II, who was photographed wearing a similar pearl and diamond bracelet several times in the 1960s. Now, let's move on to the diamond sunburst brooch. This brooch, featuring diamond rays emanating from a central diamond cluster with a smaller pendant, was not part of the Diamond Stars series that Princess Marie-Louise received as wedding gifts in 1891. Queen Victoria noted in her diary that Princess Marie-Louise wore her mother's wedding veil and the diamond stars that I gave her pinned among the wreath. The diamond sunburst brooch also belonged to Queen Victoria, who received the diamond star and pendant upon her accession. The Duchess of Connaught wore it to the coronation of Tsar Nicholas II in Russia in 1896, and it was bequeathed to Princess Marie-Louise upon Queen Victoria's death in 1901. The recently divorced Princess Marie-Louise inherited the diamond sunburst brooch and continued to wear it for decades, even as she became a princess from nowhere. This was particularly evident at the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in 1953 and in a series of portraits by Cecil Beaton. Princess Marie-Louise also lent Queen Victoria's diamond sunburst brooch to her sister, Princess Helena Victoria, for the wedding ball of Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark and Princess Ingrid of Sweden in 1935. After her death in 1956, Princess Marie-Louise bequeathed the brooch to Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. We must not overlook the Cartier corsage. This Cartier brooch, featuring a detachable tassel adorned with a large round central pearl set in a diamond brooch with Art Deco onyx detailing, was acquired by Princess Helena Victoria and Princess Marie-Louise at some point in the 1920s or 30s. Princess Helena Victoria wore it at the wedding ball of Crown Prince Frederick of Denmark and Princess Ingrid of Sweden in 1935. After Princess Helena Victoria's death, the Cartier corsage was worn by her sister, Princess Marie-Louise, on numerous occasions in the 1950s and in a series of portraits by Cecil Beaton. Upon her death in 1956, Princess Marie-Louise bequeathed this Cartier corsage to her cousin, Princess Patricia of Connaught, later known as Lady Patricia Ramsay. Which piece of jewelry do you find most captivating? Share your thoughts in the comments.